What is up, Hidden Gem fam? In this video, you're really going to like it because I'm going to dive into just one of the strategies that I use that have helped me really survive in the DeFi space. And again, for those of you that have been here for a relatively decent amount of time, you know that I love the DeFi space, the decentralized finance space. However, there's something that a lot of people don't understand that I learned over time. I didn't grasp it right away. Again, I've been in the DeFi space for a decent amount of time. And what I'll tell you is, just like everywhere else, is that markets move in cycles. Now, it's not like something comes, goes, and dies. A market moves, especially the DeFi space, moves in cycles, but things get renamed. That's so important. Things get renamed all the time. So, for example, we had yield aggregators and yield farms. We're talking like Defi, we're talking Yearn as well, but those are like the main ones. Now, the really speculative ones were like Swampy and a bunch of other yield aggregators where they integrate with the decentralized exchanges. They plugged into their exchanges. Individuals can provide liquidity, and in return, they can get like a boosted APR, and they got a percentage of the LP. Again, it's not complex. It's just not something we're going to talk about in this video. But again, yield farms were a thing. They were really, really big. And the next thing you know, the DeFi space, transitions. Then we have like Curve, clones, if you will. Then we move on. And recently, the hype, the excitement was all around DAOs. We had Wonderland. We had Olympus DAO. We had so many different DAOs that came up, and they were all Olympus DAO forks. Now, Wonderland was also an Olympus DAO fork, but again, you have to understand that, the DAO is kind of like over now, and now everybody's on nodes. Now, here's the thing, is that some node projects, it's so weird. Well, not weird, but it's expected. Remember I said how projects don't necessarily, these categories like DAOs, yield farms, nodes isn't what a lot of people know. Nodes is something that is needed for every single protocol, every single layer one as well, where a node is supposed to transmit data from point A to point B, and it's always up 24/7. It's how the blockchain runs. However, nodes these days are, hey, invest into here, we'll invest. Almost like DeFi as a service. People are calling nodes as DeFi as a service, and that's not what a node is. A node, it literally is a way to go ahead and be able to have somebody validate. There's master nodes, there's nodes in general. It's a way to go ahead and transmute data on that particular blockchain. Now, for example, nodes aren't supposed to be cheap. Nodes are not cheap. If we were to take a look at Gala Games, right? So Gala Games node, it's expensive. It's really, really expensive. Ethereum, in order to go ahead and participate in their proof of stake for Ethereum 2.0, it costs 32 Ethereum, and you needed to lock it up for 2 years. Gala over here, 379,000 Gala is required to run a licensed Gala node. Nodes are not cheap. So when you see, oh yeah, you can invest like, $100, you get a node, it's not really a node, right? It's just wrapped up to be like one. So the market moves in cycles. We're going to see yield farms and yield aggregators come up yet again. So that's something that I learned very early on. And this is really important to understand, because if you know these cycles and you start taking note of what was hot 2 months ago, what's hot now, what's hot in upcoming potentially, that's when you're going to be able to spot what to be in on early. So how exactly do you spot on what chain to be in on, and what type of project, what type of protocol do you want to be first in the game on? Well, that's really important. So I'll use something like DeFi Llama, and what I'll look at is I'll go to chains, right? And the chains, I'll take a look, and I'll keep a very close eye on this, and I'm going to take a look at chain dominance and see which ones you can see on the left-hand side, right over here, with all these different chains, you could see which ones start to move up. So if we just go back like 2 months or so and just watch how the chains move up, and I can see, let's see here. So I can see like Clayton, right? Clayton starts going up. Then we have Harmony. Elrond stays the same. Now we have Waves. Where's Waves is going? Waves is taking over right now. So again, we can start to see what chains, what layer ones are currently doing something. They're developing, and people are launching on there. So now that we know what layer one, what chain, because everything is built on a chain, whether that's Ethereum, Luna, BSC, Avalanche, Phantom, Solana, Poly, you get the idea. these DeFi protocols, these DeFi projects are built on a chain. So if you're first on that chain and you're first to the protocol that's new to that chain, just like if you were first into Anchor, you did very, very well. If you can identify what is going to be hot plus what chain is on the rise, then yes, you're going to do very, very, very well. So now that I know what chain to look for, what I would actually do is go on somewhere like Twitter, right? And I would run a search for the chain in question, plus whatever is hot at that time, like a node, OHM fork, Wonderland, whatever it is, right? So Wonderland is an OHM fork, but I digress. I look for the chain plus what's hot at the time, because what's hot at the time, another developer wants to take advantage of the chain up and coming. And new individuals, new participants, are not very familiar with that chain. So they go ahead and are like, oh, this is brand new, it's hot, and it's a node as well, or it's a this as well. So it just carries over that it's brand new on a new chain, plus it's in a hot category. So again, I'll just browse through Twitter, start seeing what people are saying, and I'll keep note on exactly who's doing what. However, I do follow a few people, and I keep note of, and this is really sneaky, I keep note of who they follow. Again, it's not like I stalk their following, but I'll look through their following from time and see, and a lot of them are DeFi individuals. And I want to see who they're following, because that means they have their eye on the project. And a lot of times, and again, this is why I don't follow a lot of projects, is because I'm afraid somebody's going to do to me what I do to others, is that they aren't 100% correct on those, projects that are, that they start following. But, somebody like me, I'll look into it. So that's just one strategy. The other strategy, like I said, is I do the chain plus node, and then I'll start researching that project. So again, this is very, very easy to do. The real key here, the real secret sauce, is finding the chain, because what is hot at the time, like a node, like a DAO, like a yield aggregator, it's going to go to that new chain that is up and coming. So we saw that with BSC, right? Binance Smart Chain blew up, and it blew up during the time of yield aggregators, and then yield aggregators went cross-chain. So there were so many different yield aggregators at the time, like Pancake Bunny, right? Pancake Bunny. So look at this. This is crazy. Even Binance Labs invested $1 million, $1 million plus into Pancake Bunny, and then they got hacked. It was very unfortunate. So they were a yield aggregator, or are a yield aggregator on Binance Smart Chain. So like I said, you want to spot new chains that developers can get into. And again, it doesn't need to be DeFi only. It can go ahead and be, let's just say, like gaming, right? Different games can be built on that chain. Now, there are exceptions on here, like Cardano, where I don't necessarily look for anything on that chain, because nothing ever happens. But again, that's what I pay attention to. So for example, if I was going to go ahead and look right now, I would just do Waves node, right? So Waves node. So we can see right over here, Waveless Waves node, very interesting. So let's just take a look. Lease your Waves address. So again, this is exactly what I would do. I would just start looking around for these different projects and see exactly what is potentially going to blow up. And that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to share in this video. I don't want to make it too long, because it's very cut and dry on what I do. And I'll just browse and see what they're doing and see exactly if they have potential like other projects. So Hidden Gem fam, if you enjoyed this, slap a like on this video, subscribe with notifications, and I will see you all very soon. Have a good one, everybody.